Okay, welcome everyone to month 8th or August if you've been following us since the beginning of the year. And this is part of the Mastering English Communication 1 year plan. This month, we'll focus on two critical workplace skills, negotiation and problem solving. These abilities will help you communicate effectively, resolve conflicts, and achieve win-win outcomes in professional settings. So, with that being said, welcome to Master English Communication, and let's dive right in. So, month 8th, what are we going to focus on? Three things: negotiation language, problem solving skills, and persuasive communication. First up, negotiation language. Master key phrases and vocabulary for effective business negotiations. Problem-solving skills. Develop frameworks and techniques for collaborative solutions. And learn techniques to present ideas compellingly and professionally. So this curriculum this series is very appropriate for both intermediate and advanced learners. Let's just recap month 7 so we'll know exactly where we are. And if this is the first time you're joining us, you'll have an idea of some of the sequence of events in the series. But everything is in a playlist, so you will be able to look at all of the months. Last month was report writing and formal documents. We focused on creating clear, structured business documents. These writing skills provide the foundation for successful negotiations by ensuring clarity in written proposals, supporting preparation of negotiation points, documenting agreements effectively, and this will actually set you up to proceed with the learning objectives. So let's take a look. First, master negotiation vocabulary. You must learn the key phrases and terminology for professional negotiations. There's no way around that. You can't guess. You have to learn them. Build persuasion strategies. Develop techniques for effective and ethical persuasion. Strengthen listening skills. Improve active listening and strategic questioning techniques. And then develop collaborative solutions. Learn to create win-win outcomes through teamwork. So if you're wondering where you're going to learn all of this, of course, there's plenty of material on the internet for free and books to buy, but I've created other lessons around negotiation, persuasion, listening, and collaboration. So certainly look at the library that I have waiting for you. Okay, so I said how we're going to learn it and what are the elements, but you still may be thinking why negotiation skills matter. So strong negotiation abilities are essential for career advancement and leadership roles, securing better project resources, building stronger professional relationships, and resolving workplace conflicts effectively. So here are some common workplace scenarios. For career advancement, look at project deadline discussions, budget allocations, client contract terms, team resource distribution, salary and promotion conversations. And remember, all of these are important for career advancement, leadership, securing resources, building stronger professional relationships, and resolving workplace conflicts. Now let's look at the key elements of successful negotiation: preparation, research, Set clear goals and anticipate counter arguments. Clear communication. Express ideas concisely and check for understanding. Active listening. Focus on understanding others' needs and perspective. And remember, I do have other lessons on active listening and communication as well. And then win-win outcomes. Seek solutions that benefit all parties involved, because then all parties will come away from the negotiation feeling that they actually have achieved something that's important to them. Negotiation vocabulary and expressions. Can we find common ground on this issue? Let's explore alternatives that might work for both of us. I'd like to propose a solution that addresses your concerns. What if we compromise on the timeline, but maintain the quality standards? So obviously, these are four common phrases that you can use in negotiation, but they're very powerful and very strategic if you use them correctly. And obviously, they can be across different industries, companies, and situations. So practice these exercises and include role-playing conversations using these phrases in context. So you want to make sure that you're able to collaborate with someone to practice. Let's look at persuasion techniques. Presenting ideas compellingly. So you want to structure arguments logically. Support claims with evidence. Address potential objections proactively. You balancing logic and emotion. Appeal to rational benefits, what makes sense. Connect with emotional motivators. Demonstrate understanding of others' positions. Your tone, your pace, and body language significantly impact how your message is received. So nonverbal communication is also critical and important. So active listening in negotiations, what does it actually mean? Well, first, paraphrase. Restate what you've heard in your own words to confirm understanding with the other party. For example, so what you're saying is, so in English, this is not an insult. This is being polite. And the other person or other side of the table will understand that you're trying to understand and be precise. Clarify. Ask specific questions to gain deeper insight into the other party's position. For example, could you explain more about your concern regarding? Once again, this is polite, respectful, and shows the other party that you are trying to understand their position. Confirm. Verify that all parties have the same understanding before moving forward. For example, let me make sure we're on the same page about. So these are just three basic phrases, but very powerful phrases. Of course, there are others that you can find in my negotiation series. Understanding cultural differences. The earth is a big place, but the world is a small one. And in business, it is very small because many countries, many regions, we all are working together, we're all communicating. And so we want to make sure that we are sensitive to some of the cultural differences that we have, as well as the things that we have in common. So in terms of global negotiation styles, direct versus indirect communication preferences are different in different cultures. In the United States, being direct is actually very normal, not considered an insult. Adapting your approach. Research cultural norms before negotiations. Relationship focused versus deal focused approaches. So in the United States, you will find both of these, but generally, if you're going to have a long-term relationship or long-term business relationship, the people involved do want to have some ability to get along together and have a working relationship. Short term, something just to focus on a deal is generally considered okay. But you want to adjust communication style appropriately given the situation. And then different attitudes toward time and deadlines. In the United States, we are very focused on being on time. There are other environments that are going to be focused on time, but I'm just speaking because that is my background and that's the English focus that I'm coming from. So be patient with different decision-making processes. Just because we are focused on everything being on time and operating in a certain way, if I, as a person that has grown up in the business environment of the United States, if I'm going to a different country with a different pace, they're not going to adjust to me. I have to adjust to them. And so you want to be patient and understand what you will need to do to adjust appropriately. And varying comfort with silence and interruption. You don't want to just talk, 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 because then you're not understanding the other person's side. That's the importance of active listening. You're understanding what the other person is actually trying to get out or take away from the negotiation. And so listening and not interrupting is important, but speaking when appropriate is. So show respect for cultural protocols. So this is how you would set up a role-playing scenario, right? Now, make sure you have someone you can work with because it'll provide practical experience in applying negotiation skills in realistic situations. And here's why you want to do it. You practice in a low-risk environment so you'll get comfortable using the phrases and approaches. You get immediate feedback from someone that is working with you so that you will be successful and they will be successful if they also are practicing. And you will develop confidence through repetition. You can't get away from it. Sometimes you just have to memorize and repeat. Structure. Scenario briefing with clear roles. So you want to make sure each of the people practicing understands the role that they're playing. Preparation time for each party, right? Make sure that the people are prepared, right? And obviously the length and the depth of preparation depends on the kind of role playing that you're doing. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. And then active negotiation practice. Actively practice so you'll be ready. Then debrief and feedback. That's important. Just don't walk away saying, hey, I feel great. No, discuss what you did good and what you're going to need more work on. So here's a role play scenario, number one. This is around project deadlines. So the scenario is a project manager needs to negotiate with a client who wants to move up the delivery date by 2 weeks. So the key elements to practice are opening statements that establish position, exploring constraints and possibilities, making and responding to counter offers, reaching and documenting agreement. Now, if you're finding this information helpful, please give us a like. We would appreciate it. Role play scenario number 2, salary negotiation. This is very important to job seekers and for people who are looking for promotions and greater responsibilities. Preparation, research market rates, pay scales, things of this nature. Prepare talking points about your value and practice confident delivery. Opening discussion. Express appreciation for the offer while professionally stating your expectations. Negotiation. Listen to employer concerns, suggest alternatives, and find compromise points. Agreement. Confirm details clearly and express positive outlook for future relationship. Now let's look at problem-solving frameworks. We have 4 here. Identify. Clearly define the problem and its impact. Analyze. Examine causes, constraints, and stakeholder needs. Stakeholders are the people involved who will benefit or be hurt by the correct or incorrect approach. Generate and evaluate multiple options. And implement, execute a plan, and monitor results. Some additional tools. You can use something like SWOT analysis to evaluate strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And then brainstorming to generate creative solutions without immediate judgment. So if you've never heard this phrase, this is where 2 or more people, you really want to have somewhere between 3 and 5 minimum, all right, but no more than, let's say, 7 or possibly 8. Sit to and give ideas. Sit together and give ideas about how we can solve or address whatever the challenges or issues are. Collaborative decision making. Building better solutions together. So you create an environment where all voices are heard, establish clear decision-making processes, and balance efficiency with inclusivity. Valuing diverse perspectives. So actively seek input from different team members. Don't shut people out that have value. Consider various expertise and viewpoints, and of course, build on others' ideas constructively. Conflict resolution skills. Stay calm, maintain professional demeanor, right? Or composure, or the way you present yourself, even when tensions rise. For example, I understand this is a challenging situation. Let's take a moment to consider options. This is just an example of the language you might want to use. Focus on issues, not on personalities. Address the problem, not personalities. But, for example, let's look at the specific concerns about the project timeline rather than past issues. And then, of course, you want to find common ground. You want to identify shared goals and build from there. For example, we both want this project to succeed. What aspects can we agree on first? Okay, so let's have an action plan. Week 1, look at building basic negotiation phrases. Week 2, role play practice for different negotiation scenarios. Week 3, problem solving exercises with teams. And week 4, have a final mock negotiation with feedback. Each week builds on previous skills while introducing new concepts and providing ample practice opportunities. Feedback and reflection are critical to this process. Don't be afraid to get feedback from intelligent, supportive, objective people. Learn from others, learn from watching others' approaches. Observe and comment on classmates or group members' negotiation techniques. Provide specific constructive suggestions. Do not present suggestions in a negative way because they'll be rejected naturally. Mentor guidance. Receive expert assessment of your skills. Maybe this is from your coach or someone who is advising you. Get personalized improvement recommendations. Self-reflection questions. What went well in the negotiation practice? Which phrases felt natural or unnatural? How did I handle unexpected challenges? What will I do differently next time? And your self-assessment checklist cuts across 4 areas. Am I using negotiation vocabulary naturally in conversations? Active listening. Can I listen carefully and clarify points effectively? Collaborative solutions. Am I contributing to team problem solving effectively? And cultural awareness. Do I adapt my communication style for different cultural contexts? Use this checklist throughout the month to track your progress and identify areas for continued practice. Okay, month 8, summary. This month, we focused on building essential negotiation and problem-solving skills that form the foundation of effective business communication. These abilities directly support leadership development by enhancing your capacity to build consensus among team members, navigate complex business challenges, create win-win solutions with stakeholders. So coming in month 9 or September, we're going to explore more about cultural nuances in business communication. We'll examine how cultural context shapes business interactions and learn to communicate effectively across diverse global environments. So please, if you found this presentation good, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment because your comments help us help you. Take care, everyone, and see you next time as we continue our linguistic adventure together.